I was an asshole. Now I'm a different asshole now in practice and in business than I was um, late teens, early 20s. Back then, I was just kind of an asshole in the most general of senses, the most unacceptable of senses. Um, in this day and age, the most cancelable of senses. I gave an opportunity to get myself canceled a whole bunch. But back then, there weren't a whole lot of smartphones around. So, dodge that bullet. Ay, little Rodney Dangerfield there. No respect. Just because what I say makes you feel bad doesn't mean that what I say is wrong. And there's a separation there. There's a delineation that a lot of people don't understand anymore because it's the answer or it's the phrasing that isn't what they expected, and as such, they are offended by it. And that's not how this works. That really isn't.
What the hell's going on out here?
Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Another episode, Fueled by Spite. I'm your host, Dr. James Taylor. As always, like, share, follow. As we've been going through this, we've been leapfrogging. I don't know if you've noticed a pattern, but there is a pattern. We've been leapfrogging. There'll be an episode of myself sharing a rant, sharing a tip, a trick, something like that. Something that I feel has gotten me to where I am. Better, worse, or indifferent. The other episodes have been interviews with, up to this point, more or less, friends of mine, acquaintances of mine, people who have been doing awesome things in and around, for the most part, DFW, and the stuff that they have come across, right? The stuff that's helped them, the stuff that's hurt them, the stuff they did that worked, that didn't work, the stuff they knew, the stuff they wish they knew, all that stuff, for lack of a better word. And every interview, more or less, starts out relatively the same. Hey, what's your origin story? How'd you get here? What'd you do? Now, I've shared bits and pieces of my experience, if you will, throughout these episodes, these interviews. But what about me? What about Dr. Taylor? So today, I would like to share with you, as much as I feel comfortable sharing, my origin story. And I would like to start out with an introduction. Hi, my name is Dr. James Taylor, and I am an asshole. It has been about 72 hours since my last asshole behavior. It's about an average streak. Lord grants me the patience to know when I'm potentially being an asshole, and the knowledge to know when I'm allowed to or not, and the serenity to know the difference or something. I don't know. You know how that thing goes. Um, so I say that facetiously. I say that tongue in cheek. But I, with a grain of salt, am happy with my experience thus far being an asshole. I became an asshole. Why? What happened in sixth grade? We moved. We moved from one city to another city, went to a new school, had to make new friends. If you ever moved when you're a child in your formative years, it sucks. I never got into a fight in school, K through 5. I got into a good handful, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th-ish. Decreasing frequency um, of fights per school year, but I was certainly sent to the principal's office far more after 6th grade than I was before 6th grade. And I was like, oh, you're in 1st grade. What are you going to go to the principal's office for? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just speaking in somewhat generalities here. But long story short, I didn't handle the move well. I had a shrinking, if you will, group of friends well into college. It got to the point where when it came to me, you knew me or you didn't know me. And if you knew me, you liked me or you didn't like me. There was not a whole lot of gray area. Examples. In college, hey, Taylor, there's somebody sitting in our booth. Go make a move. Got it. Hey, Taylor, that person offended my girlfriend. On it. Cool. Like I can make you cry with words. They can make you cry with physical actions. More often than not, you can't go to jail for words. Words don't leave physical marks. I was that guy. I was the asshole. And again, I feel it suited me, prepared me well for business ownership, because sometimes in business, sometimes a lot of times in business, you have to be an asshole. You have to say things that people don't want to hear. Just because what I say makes you feel bad doesn't mean that what I say is wrong. And there's a separation there. There's a delineation that a lot of people don't understand anymore, because it's the answer or it's the phrasing that isn't what they expected, and as such, they are offended by it. And that's not how this works. That really isn't. So I was an asshole. Now I'm a different asshole now in practice and in business, than I was, um, late teens, early 20s. Back then, I was just kind of an asshole in the most general of senses, the most unacceptable of senses. Um, in the most in this day and age, the most cancelable of senses. I gave an opportunity to get myself canceled a whole bunch. But back then, there weren't a whole lot of smartphones around. So, woohoo, dodge that bullet. Ay, little Rodney Dangerfield there. No respect. Um, but the benefits, as I sit here today, of being an asshole are plentiful. Because if you're an asshole, what are you? You're lonely. Why are you lonely? Well, because you're a fucking asshole. So there's far fewer people in and around your friend group. I was routinely classified, and I wore this as a badge of honor. I was routinely classified as a good guy to know, a good guy to have on your side. Perfect. I like that, because that means I'm wanted. It means I'm needed. Granted, by a small number of people, but still, I provide a service, if you will. And that service is getting other people to go away. And that can be a valuable thing. The parallels between being an early 20-something asshole and a mid 30-something business person are numerous. I've equated it in my head to the space shuttle, which I don't even know if we have anymore. But what is it? It's the thing goes to the launch pad, and it's a shuttle, and it's a tank, it's rockets, it's all this stuff. Whether it's that thing that we grew up with in the 90s or even in the 80s, just the multi-stage rocket. The higher that thing gets, the more parts fall away. Okay. The higher you get as a person, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I mean, hell, as a salesperson, whatever, the the more you increase your station in life, the more pieces will fall away. Now, what are those pieces? Those pieces are friends and their family. This episode, in some sense, is uh, inspired by a recent unfriending that I've gone through. Now, I am 39 years old, and I have been unfriended before, and I will be unfriended again. Now, I'm hoping I'm misreading the situation in that I'm hoping I was not unfriended because I have surpassed this person. I think they're going to do all right if they can just fucking stick with themselves in any one of their ideas. Neither here nor there. No, I don't want to come off like I'm shitting on them. But why was I unfriended? I was unfriended because they came to me looking for my advice to help another person. Cool, I'm in. So, in conversation with these two people and this other person whom my advice was sought for, the unfrienderer messaged me separately and goes, "Hey, the advice we're giving him is contrary to what somebody else is doing, saying, or teaching. I want to make sure you shit on that person." I'm paraphrasing. Those weren't the words he said, but those were the words he said. Shit, I said he. Okay, so now I've excluded half of the people on the planet. So I've increased your odds of guessing this person by 50%. Either way, hey, I need you to shit on this person in an effort to make my advice look better. Maybe not him, but his advice. And that's not going to work for me, man. That's not going to work. So I gave the opinion and the information that I was asked to give completely unfiltered from James Taylor. There was no lens of others' influence or intention that it was put through. Why? Because that's what I'm here to do. I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for you. And if my opinion differs from your opinion, then don't ask for my opinion. And damn sure don't tell me what opinion to have. So, in this sense, I was an asshole. I got defriended because of it. C'est la vie. It happens. So, going back through a couple of notes here. So basically, like I said, like that was my origin story. That's what got me to where I am. My ability to be an asshole. Because it lets this is a roundabout way to get to it. But you say uncomfortable things when you're an asshole. You say uncomfortable things in business. You say uncomfortable things in friendships. And the people that stick with you, those pieces that didn't fall away as your station in life increased, rose, escalated, those are the people you hold on to. But at the same time, being an asshole, like I alluded to earlier, is a lonely thing. And so is business. Business is lonely. Trying to make yourself better is lonely. Because when you're down on the bottom, you've got a whole bunch of people that are on the bottom with you. And they are cheering for you because you're all in the same spot. But as you start to rise up, those people fall away or they stay down there. They don't even rise up with you. Because for them to fall implies that they had to go up a little bit, right? But it becomes lonelier. Being an asshole is lonely. Being a business person is lonely. Oh, but it takes a village. It sure does fucking take a village. It takes other people. I lean on people for advice and counsel. Some of them offer it freely. Some of them offer it with a price. And I pay the price because I respect what they have to say. I respect their time. But as these people fall away and these pieces fall away, becoming a business owner is a lonely thing. Going back to the space shuttle thing, let's say, I don't know how many people are in the cockpit, but let's say it's 4. Let's say there's a pilot, a co-pilot, and 2 guys working on computers and stuff, right? As that thing is going up and these pieces are falling away, these 4 people are doing 4 individual tasks. Now, these tasks need to be done and completed. Number 1 needs to do it, so number 2 can do it. 2 can do it, needs to do it, so 1 and 3 can do it. 3 needs to do it, so 1, 2, and 4 can do it. Like, these people all need to work together, but they need to work together individually. Again, I've got coaches and counsel and friends and acquaintances that I go to for advice. But they're not here when I roll up at 6 a.m. What time do you see your first patient? 8:30. Yeah, I got to make it happen myself. They're not here when I'm on here on Sunday. They're not here when I'm here Saturday morning. So being an asshole has made me get used to being lonely. It's not a bad place to be. I like being alone. I like seeing people. I like the energy from people, but also back up. Give me some space. Get used to working with others. Get used to working with others and get used to working without others because that's literally how it's got to be done. There are some cutthroat aspects to business. I mean, hell, there's cutthroat aspects to being a doctor. And I don't mean to say that in like the cliche sense, like, oh, it's cutthroat. Like, no, you got to say things that people aren't going to want to hear from a healthcare standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a monetary or financial standpoint. It's got to be done. And the people that can roll with you when you say things that they don't want to hear, provided at this point in my life, it's coming from a place of caring and understanding, again, as opposed to those earlier, more formative years where it was not, those people that can roll with you through those points when you have to tell them things that they don't want to hear, those are good people. People that remove themselves from the conversation because you said something that they didn't want to hear, that's a sign of weakness. Flat out. You're weak. Can't be weak and be a success. Can't be healthy and take medication. The same premise. So it's taken me a while to get to the point where I can listen to others' opinions that I don't agree with and still stick with them. Not everyone can say that, but it's a task that you're going to have to learn. It's a skill you're going to have to learn.